The President of the Republic, Ilir Meta, participated in the commemoration of the 45th anniversary of the Spaç revolt alongside the Ambassador for the EU, Roman Vlahutin, and other personalities who expressed appreciation for the martyrs of democracy. Former ambassadors and former foreign ministers established the Council of Albanian Ambassadors, which is aimed at analysing international relations and contributing to the improvement of our country's diplomatic strategies. The new property tax that will be calculated based off the market value of the property has seen its implementation postponed to the 1st of January 2019. Good evening, it's 6 o'clock on Monday, the 21st of May 2018. Welcome to the English edition of Aura News. My name is Alexandra and I'm here to bring you the day's top stories from across the country translated into English. On the 45th anniversary of Spaç's revolt, the head of state Ilir Meta called for a memorial to be erected in memory of all communist dissidents. During his speech, the president said it is an obligation to find and honour the bones of those who died during that period. Meta stressed that the past should be treated transparently while emphasising the importance of reparation for the ex-persecuted. The objective and impartial treatment of historical truths is of particular importance. We are a European nation and our history cannot be treated outside of the European perspective for Albania. Europe's integration itself has been created and is basically an alliance against the past horrors of the fascist and communist dictatorship. This project continues. From this point of view, our country must continue to treat the past with transparency and give justice to the rehabilitation, integration and reparation of the politically persecuted. Albanian dissidents deserves to be remembered and written throughout history. The erection of a memorial to honour the dissidents, the innocent victims of the dictatorship and their suffering is a duty of society, as is the duty to find and honour the bones of the dead, stated Ilir Meta. The EU ambassador to Albania, Roman Vlahutin, was also in attendance for the 45th anniversary of the Spaç revolt. In her speech, she said that it is difficult to think that in a country in the heart of Europe, 4 decades ago, a boy could be condemned by only singing Adriano Celentano's songs. It is difficult, almost impossible to think that in Europe, which went to the moon, invented the internet and has biometrics, artificial hearts, etc., yet 4 decades ago, a young man could be punished only because he was singing Adriano Celentano's songs. Albanians were persecuted because they wanted to be poets, painters and scholars, because they wanted to be like the rest of Europe. I am humbled before the duties we have to respect the past, for the future to be more honest. The EU has launched a project that is identifying the DNA of those killed. We started in the Daiti area and this will be done so that the families can begin to identify their loved ones as soon as possible, said Roman Vlahutin. The DP deputy, Ervin Saliani, and legal advisor, Gazmend Bardhi, were the first to respond to the prosecution's call to make statements about the audio tapping published by the opposition. At about 10:05 a.m, the Democratic Minister and the former Technical Justice Minister were seen entering the prosecution of serious crimes, where they gave explanations about the denunciations by the DP against the brother of the Interior Minister, Fatmir Jafaj. After the questioning process, they spoke with the journalists waiting outside. As you know, today we were called to the Serious Crimes Prosecution Office as we are people who are able to provide further information to aid the investigation this office has launched. We are ahead of a documented case of abuse by the Interior Minister. I am a lawyer and I will certainly cooperate with the prosecution whenever I will be called. No one has questioned the Interior Minister who facilitates the criminal activity of his brother, but we who have reported the case have been called. We were asked about the facts and materials we made public, the same facts and materials that the prosecution has. We have provided our explanations regarding these facts and this evidence, said Gazmend Bardhi. Agron Jafaj has left Albania to avoid revealing all his criminal activity, his associates, his tapping, and all other facts. We have provided our explanations, but the prosecution is more involved in the false denunciation that Agron Jafaj has made than in capturing the structured criminal group, said Ervin Saliani. If they have taken over the heads of the prosecution, the penal process will not occur. The true victims are the Albanian people, and it is everyone's duty to protect life and the future of this country. I will exercise all my rights in this process, said Khaled Ali Bey. Only 3 kilometres from Elbasan, the village of Baldren has an oil refinery that is considered a major environmental polluter. For this reason, the prosecution has been investigating the discharge of toxic materials into the environment since April. Environmental Chief Inspector at Elbasan says the accusations were confirmed by the measurements, while stressing that the case cannot be solved by the prosecution's investigation. Our fines did not yield any results, exclaimed the environmental chief inspector. The situation created in the industrial zone and the complaints of citizens during the government's accountability meeting a few days ago led to the dismissal of the environmental chief inspector for the country. As a result, Enver Shkurti was given the responsibility just a few days ago. He says the fight against pollution will be the focus of working with an iron fist in the industrial area. But the firm's representatives declare the accusations that the refinery is the biggest polluter of Elbasan are malevolent. These pollution charges do not stand, said the firm's manager, Rebari Nikometa. But for the environmentalist Arben Mehmetai, the damages caused to residents and the ecosystem in the industrial area of Elbasan are irreparable. Irreversible damage has been done to the ecosystem. The municipality announced this a short time before the situation became an environmental emergency, said Arben Mehmetai. Investigations on the oil refinery in Elbasan started after a denunciation by the head of the Socialist Party parliamentary group, Talon Bala, and the mayor of Elbasan, Shazim Sadini. Earlier, the municipality has announced that the environmental emergency was occurring because of the high level of pollution in Elbasan. "24 diplomats have come together to form the Council of Albanian Ambassadors. This initiative brought together diplomatic personalities who have played a very important role in international relations over the years for our country. At its first meeting, the board elected Besnik Mustafaj as president, who said that this organisation has to put the precious experience of these personalities in the service of irreversible integration. Members of this non-governmental organisation should have held at least one post as an ambassador or have been a senior diplomat with a leading position in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for more than 5 years. All former foreign ministers also have the right to join this council." The application and implementation of the new property tax has now been postponed. Finance and Economy Minister Arben Ahmetaj explained that after the request of local government representatives, the tax will now be implemented on the 1st of January 2019, 9 months after the original introduction date. According to Ahmetaj, the remaining period of 2018 will serve as a preparatory stage. Citizens will pay 0.05% of the house value and businesses 0.2%. The formula would look at the market value of the property based on its size. Locals are not ready, therefore the tax will begin to apply only after the 1st of January 2019, confirmed Arben Ahmetaj. Ahmetaj said that the Finance Ministry has already begun to work with all municipalities regarding the methodology that they must apply for the tax collection. The Ministry has sent the municipalities the methodology they should apply, added Arben Ahmetaj. But for the opposition to postpone the implementation of such a tax so suddenly shows that the government is not serious. "You cannot postpone the introduction of a tax so unexpectedly," exclaimed Yorida Tabaku, the Vice President of the Economy Commission. The head of finance's statements came after an activity to increase transparency regarding the use of state funds. This is the situation of the Kola family in the Shenkol village of Leja, one of the families who did not meet the criteria for the receipt of economic aid. The family was removed from the scheme in January, arguing that they did not meet the necessary points, but without further information. Preng Kola believes it's because they own a coloured TV that they have been eliminated. Since they were removed, they have reapplied 4 times, but still remain excluded from the aid. "I have reapplied 4 times, but I still receive no economic aid," confirmed Preng Kola. The lady of the house, Vera Kola, says that they have been plunged into debt simply to provide daily bread, while the cost of putting a roof over their head has been supplied by a neighbour living abroad. "Our family feeds on debt, while an emigrant has allowed us to live in his home," said Vera Kola. This family from the administrative unit of Shenkol is not an isolated case. In fact, there are many more. Economic assistance specialist Teresa Matai says that the new system has ruled out economic aid to families despite them living in extreme poverty. About 1,000 families have applied for the scheme from the municipality of Leja. Many families in poverty were left out of the scheme of economic aid, said Teresa Matai. The municipality of Leja alone has seen nearly 1,000 families excluded from economic assistance due to the new requirements of the scheme. Despite suffering from very difficult economic conditions, after reapplication, they still have not benefited. Some of these families are now receiving benefits from the 6% fund of Leja municipality, but the officials say it is insufficient for all. In a unanimous decision across all political parties, the US Ambassador to Albania, Donald Lu, has been entrusted with the title Honorary Citizen of Librajd. In awarding the title to Ambassador Lu, the following declaration was made. A special friend came and sat cross-legged in the chambers of Librajd. We declare our gratitude for the important role in the building of new justice systems for Albania. Mr. Ambassador Lu, we want to ensure you know you are always welcome in Librajd. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join me again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.